Welcome to my little corner in the internet. I'm Nadine. I'm traveling with my dog Marjorie, and I welcome you wholeheartedly to Everyday Alchemy, where I walk the 12-week path of Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way. Journey with me through the mess and magic of life itself. This is week 5, recovering a sense of possibility.
Hello, my loves. I thought while I'm on the walk with the dogs, I'll talk about week 5, the recovering a sense of possibility week. And because I don't have my book with me, because I'm out in the woods, I sort of make that a little bit improvised and just tell you about all that I really can bring up and recall in my mind. So I thought when I started and prepared this week, there were a lot of lists to do. Like there was a list of wishes I had, a list of adventures, a list of if I'm 20 and had money, what would I do? If I'm 65 and had money, and what would I do? And 5 other lives and a lot of like lists, I'd say. So in doing them, obviously, she encourages you to gather all the pictures and all the possibilities that are out there available to you. And I think the two main things that she highlights in this chapter are that we more often than not make a lack of money responsible for something we can't do, and also the reputation we think we have to maintain with our loved ones, the roles we have to play in society, the responsibilities one has. First thing that really caught my attention or refreshed my memory were her paragraphs about source. She calls it God. It doesn't matter how you call it. Like for some it's God, for some it's source, for some it's energy, for some it's the universe, for others it's, I don't know, Yahweh. So it doesn't matter. The underlying principle is that there is something bigger than us, something making the trees bloom in spring again, and make this beautiful, beautiful world of ours that we live in, that we're part of. So whatever you want to call it, I call it source. And she just highlighted again that there is something bigger, and it doesn't really matter how problematic, challenging, or full of hardships your life is. All too often we get caught up in our head, and when we're caught up in our heads, we miss the point of experiencing this world, because we're struck with fear, we're paralyzed with anxiety, and therefore we're all up here. And the channel that is connected to all of us and all of this closes down. And I've experienced that a lot, mainly because of my journey, which is essentially not working at the moment, not having any income at the moment, and really not knowing how to get from one week to the other, to be honest. So there are weeks when I don't know if I'm able to buy food for my dog, for example, which I am aware some might call negligent. However, I would say that since miraculously she hasn't gone hungry one single day, there might be something to what Julia Cameron calls source, or what I call God. Therefore, in sort of reading the beginning of that chapter again, I was kind of reminded of that magic that I love to have in my life all the time. So that was a highlight. And then I didn't do all of the lists, but I think I did most of them. And I'm not talking about specifics now, because it doesn't matter, because it's so individual. You should just do it yourself and see what just floods out of your system. But in general, I think what these lists empowered me to see was that when I'm stuck in that head, when I'm stuck in that mindset of scarcity, I also am negligent towards myself, because all the wonderful things, all the beautiful things that are out there ready for me to be experienced, just they fade away because I'm so focused on survival, when in fact something came up always. So instead of seeing the past 8 months or 7 months as literal proof that nothing happened to me so far, and that I am held, and that I am cared for, and that there's always a next day and a plan for me, I hold on to what I know, which is fear and scarcity. And in doing so, I forget how beautiful and magical life is, and how many things I want still to have in my life and experience myself. So what those lists, be it the wish list or if I had money list, is my goals are still the same. My dreams, my visions, my drive, my inner life force to do things and experience things is still there. It just got buried under layers and layers of concerns and considerations and mental capacity for scenarios A to B to Z, right? So I really like doing those wish lists also because they gave me a clearer picture of what I really aspire to do, like who I want to be. So in that essence, recovering a sense of possibility is exactly, surprise, what this chapter does with you. It's like you see options everywhere, and not because suddenly you get a call and your dream comes true, but because you shift your mind to experiencing what you've always dreamt about, what once was in that field that was a possibility for you, even if it was just a dream. We all know dreams can come true if we put in the work and the effort, right? So we all too often discard our dreams because we are buried by other things, right? So what I'm trying to say, I think, is that the week of possibilities, I feel like, is less graspable in its essence than the other weeks I did so far. However, there also was this thing with the morning pages where she encourages you to ask the question you have before you go to bed. And then in the morning, when you do your morning pages, the answer will come to you. And so this week I did exactly that. There were other factors too that contributed to all of that, but I did do that once or twice. And a major point that I was worried about for my future travels and emigration plan came to pass, because I don't have any means of income right now. I still couldn't see a chance to somehow get to Ireland. Expensive to travel with a dog. Documenting those shifts, even if I'm not sure if it's really connected to recovering a sense of possibility, I do feel like it happened in this week and it was connected to the morning pages. So she encourages you to have these check-ins and see if major shifts happen. And I do feel somehow that week after week after week, all the main themes that are within this week sort of manifest in my life as well. I did my artist state, and my artist state this time wasn't exactly what Julia Cameron pictures to be an artist state, because she always says 2 hours, just you and yourself, just random creation, whatever. However, for me, I chose a bucket list thing that was an opportunity that came up, which was playing Dungeons and Dragons. And it happened in a public library, so it was called Books and Dragons. But nonetheless, I was on a table with 4 strangers and a moderator, a dungeon master, and I had an adventure, and it lasted 6 hours. Obviously, we had 1 hour lunch break, and it was lovely, and I liked it a lot. It could be very addictive if I would stay in one spot long enough to visit such events regularly. But that was my artist state, and I feel like it plays into the recovering a sense of possibility too, because I don't know if I would have done a thing like that for myself on my own in another timeline where I wouldn't do that way. That's what I wanted to say. So I played Dungeons and Dragons, and it was absolutely lovely, even for me as a beginner. I think that's it. I'm 5 weeks in. I'm quite mesmerized with the process, and I'm looking forward to continuing. Yes. So I send you all my love. I hope wherever you are, 100 shades of greens everywhere. So I'm gonna enjoy my walk with Snow and Marjorie, and I'll talk to you at the end of week 6, which started yesterday.